This is promotions module of NAVBUILD, where we will start with land bank module. Land bank is basically a mechanism for people to accumulate details about the various land which they have already acquired or in the process of acquiring. This entire promotions module is applicable for property promoters or developers who acquire land, who build commercial or residential properties and sell to multiple customers. So this module which I will be showing now is applicable for such promoters or developers. So in a landowner, we can specify the landowner name and the acquisition type, which could be of joint venture, outright purchase, or through a special purpose vehicle. What is the status of this acquisition, whether it is acquired or in progress, what is the unit of measure, and what is the value of land. There is a guideline value which is specified by the government, and there is acquisition value, market value at the time of acquisition, what is the current market value, what is the current guideline value, so on and so forth can be maintained here. You can specify the land spec, which is the length, breadth, and what is the type of terrain and all that. What is the infrastructure which is available, road, electricity, sewage connection, stormwater connection, drinking water connection, and all that. Clearances. In order for you to put up a project on a particular land, there may be multiple clearances and permits which are required, which is encumbrance certificate, Department of Town Planning, building permits, and all that, and what is the status of them, and channel. So through which channel we are approaching this acquisition. We may be working through some consultants or brokers or commission agents, and what is the role they play, whether it is a mediation or referral, and how they need to be compensated. Is it based on a percentage, and on what value basis, and what is the percentage. So the system can calculate the amount, and right from here you can create the purchase invoice. So that is basically the land bank functionality. We will now move on to the promotions module, where the first step is to again define the project and define the properties being sold. The project definition itself I have shown during the project definition and estimation phase. The one difference here is, if you are a promoter, then the job type you will choose as capital WIP, so which means you don't specify a customer here, because this is an asset which we create and then we sell portions of it to end customers. So this is the job type is capital WIP, and this property master tab contains details about various units which are available for selling. So we are specifying the block of the tower, the floor number, the individual item, and whether is it available or not, and what is the overall size of the property in terms of square feet, and what is the property cost, and what is the UDS. What we mean by UDS is compared to the overall apartment land area and what is the property area being built, there is a ratio upon which the individual customer will be registered a undivided share of land. That's what UDS stands for, undivided share of land, and the value of the UDS is also captured along with each property. And as you can see here, we might go for multiple stage payments which we agree with the end customer. I am specifying this at the individual project level. I can override this at individual customer level also. For example, some customer may choose to have a different payment schedule based on their payment capacity and other aspects. I will show you later how that adapting can be done. So this is how a property is defined and the prices are defined. And the next part is the CRM process, where the process starts with the contact definition. So you have various contacts which are acquired through various roadshows or other database sources, and those details are captured. Basically, name, contact number, email ID, and so on. Simple details. The next part is what we call as the inquiry or the opportunity tracking. And here we tie the opportunity to a particular project and who the contact is, which property they were interested in, whether they were interested in a 2-bedroom condo or 3-bedroom apartment unit or studio, whatever, and who is the salesperson being assigned, right? And what is the campaign code through which this inquiry has come. So you could have multiple campaigns, maybe advertisement on radio, television ad, paper ad, bulk emails, so on. Okay. And we get to track the various stages of individual inquiries. This is the regular sales management stages, what people call as SPANCO: suspecting, prospecting, analysis, negotiation, close, and order. So the SPANCO. And in individual stages, there can be multiple actions which are required. We may have to take the customer for a site visit. We may have to make a follow-up call. We may have to send an email of the brochure. We may have to arrange for the loan, and so on. So those stages, actions are captured, and who is responsible for the action. And using a filter of this data, we can easily find out who is responsible for which action in this particular week and start following up from that. For example, I can say, show me all the activities which are assigned to Paul. And out of this, what is the action which is required? I can start to follow up. So that is the advantage of inquiry tracking. Once an inquiry is moved to what we call as a booking stage, meaning you get a token advance and a property gets blocked under a particular person. Okay, so in this particular case, this particular customer has been assigned this particular unit for a price of this. So this is called booking, and the next step is registration, which means confirmation. So in the registration process, we are attaching the customer to a particular project and to a particular item, which is nothing but the unit being sold. And if you can see here, system has shown various charges which are applicable for this project. There is something called as a get job charges, which basically mean that for this project there are certain one-time fund which gets collected, like corpus fund, maintenance fund, and all that, and the individual project, the value of the construction and value of UDS gets separated, so that we know what goes towards the undivided share of land and what actually goes towards the property value. Okay, so such various divisions of accounting happens here, and we can see the milestone. So in this particular case, for example, we can see that at the time of advance there is so much money payable, and at the time of column completing so much, so on and so forth. And system also can show you what is the payment which has been made against these milestones, and it will automatically apply to the milestones which are available. As and when you book a bank receipt, system will automatically update it here on a first come first served sort of a first in first out basis. So that is how milestones are tracked, and we now need to see how we can create the milestone invoice. Again, since a particular project may have multiple customers, sometimes even hundreds or thousands of customers, it is not possible to invoke each registration document and start billing for each milestone. Instead, what you can do is simply come here and specify that particular milestone and say create sales invoice. What the system will do is it will figure out who are all the customers attached to this project and whatever milestone percentage which is applicable for them at this stage, it will automatically create the sales invoice for all the customers. So which means if you have 100 customers, all the 100 sale invoices will be created at a single stroke. So that's the advantage of this creation of sales invoice functionality. And property creation, for example, again, if there are hundreds of properties, again, it may not be possible to define each property like this. So that is where this particular screen comes up, where you can simply say what is the block number, floor number, prefix number to be given, and if you want to, what is the area which is specified, and what is, if you want to skip certain door number in the numbering series. For example, some people consider 13 as an unlucky number, so if you want to skip 13, you can specify 13 and say select, and you can create the property. So system will basically create the number of units which you have specified in that flow. In this particular case, for example, 7. So all the 7 units will be created by starting with AI1-001, something like that. So the creation of the property gets automated, and there are data ports available to import data. This is for contact master importing, and this is for enquiry. Sometimes you may have an Excel where you track the opportunity, or you may have put up a trade show and you would have captured the details in a different Excel, and you want to import that into ERP. That can be done here. And there are some reports available specific to promotions module. The first one would be the funnel report. So I specify this particular project MA06, and system shows me against each campaign what are all the enquiries I have. So this is my overall funnel for this particular project. I can also measure my campaign's performance. I say this is the project I'm interested in, MA06, and I can specify a specific salesperson, campaign code, or a stage code. So system will show me what is the number of prospects, how much has gone into bookings, and how much have gone into registrations. This is how I can measure the effectiveness of a campaign. I have a bank-wise receivables report, which means in this case, though we are dealing with the end customer, the customer has tied up with the bank. So sometimes we may have to work with the bank to collect the payments. So system will show bank-wise who the customer is, which milestone is pending, how much amount is pending. So using this, you can start tracking, interacting with the banks for the effective follow-up. So these are all the reports specific to promotions module. So this completes the description of promotion module. To summarize, with the promotion module, we started with the land bank, tracking details of various land banks available or in the process of acquisition. We showed you how to create a project, how to define a milestone for the project, how to create the various properties, and starting from contacts, how to track enquiries, how to take them to booking and registration, and how to follow up on the milestone billing and the various reports associated with it. So this is the completion of promotions module of NAVBUILD.